Hello traders, here Jean-Pierre Muhile from UTC FX. Today we are going to do something different. We used to make forex trading videos and trading course and hints, but today we are going to talk about cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, because around the world there is panic and fears of losing money because Bitcoin is crashing like a stone. In today's video, we are going to analyze Bitcoin on the technical side, and we will try to see together what we could expect in the near future with Bitcoin on the cryptocurrency in general. Without delaying, let's meet after the intro and the disclaimer. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, UTC FX. If you are new to our YouTube channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified once we release a new video, and hit like and share to support our YouTube channel and to help your colleagues and friends to know what's going on with Bitcoin. Before we go to the technical analysis, let me share you from my experience. I knew Bitcoin back in 2019. And 2019, I knew Bitcoin when Bitcoin was trading at 4,500, and I knew Bitcoin while because I was investing in a scam which was called back then. It was called supermarketings. It was a pyramid scheme where you could generate a lot of money in every week because of the followers you had. The pyramid scheme was very, very simple. Let me try to make an illustration in order to show you how it was working. Let's say you are an next person here and you invest some money. The method was simple. You had to find someone here to invest some money, and immediately you have been given 10% of the money he was invested. And if you could find another one to invest the similar amount of this money here, you could get also another 10% here, 10% plus the money the profit was giving you. And after a week, because if these people had the same account, you could get what we call matching profit, which was very simple. So this was easy to grow because even everyone who entered under your name below here, so let's say this one decided to take C and D, and this one take E, F, G, K, M, N, O, P, Q. Even though you don't know these people are here, you was supposed to get profit every week. So it was very easy to make a lot of money with this scheme. So I was thinking and I was very excited. I took a lot of money and I invested, and I was seeing myself as a millionaire. Unfortunately, I was at this level already because I was investing with my own money. I didn't need to take a risk of using money from my family, my colleagues, because I was not trusting it too much. And I was at this level, and my balance was at $8,500. And it was a Friday when I wanted to withdraw some money, and then I could not withdraw, and the next morning the website was no longer there. Why do I share you with this experience? It is because of three reasons. Reason number one, it was to tell you when I knew Bitcoin, So by using, let's go to the chart and show you where Bitcoin was. So at that time, Bitcoin was at this level. It was bouncing back from this support. It was here in April, it was at 4,500. So all this price movement of Bitcoin made from 4,000 to 65 and 59,000, now back to 16,000. I have watched it because since then I'm in digital market. I'm forex traders, full-time forex traders. After losing my money, I decided to invest in something I know only, and I decided to invest in forex trading. Since then, I know what I'm talking about here. And reason number two, it is an advice I want to give the investors, especially the low income people. We are looking for something which we can generate money easily. What you are saying here, don't consider it as a financial advice. We are saying it for educational purpose and to share with you our experience. Do your own due diligence before you invest or you trade your hard-earned money, because you will not be liability of your loss. So if you are a technical technical indicators fund, let's plot the moving averages and see what Bitcoin is doing now. You see from weekly time frame, you see that Bitcoin, it is even trending below 20 moving average. You can see it clearly on a daily time frame. You will see that Bitcoin, it is downtrend. It is trending below 20, 50, 100 and 200 moving average. So we could expect Bitcoin continuing to drop down. And please, before we continue, we have been made a technical analysis on Bitcoin on the 17th of October last month. Please watch where it was and see our prediction and see what happened, and we will continue the technical analysis shortly. Bitcoin iri downtrend kuko iri gutrendingira below 50 moving average cyangwa munsi y'iyi trend line yacu. Icyo waba ukoresha cyose nta kibazo, byose ni kimwe. Bitcoin rero mu by'ukuri urabona ko ari maze igihe kinini cyane izamuka, ariko Bitcoin urabona ko hano ya sani ya niri kumanuka, iri downtrend. Ikindi Bitcoin urabona ko hano mu by'ukuri irimo ira consolidatinga kuri iyi support yacu. Urabona ko irakora consolidation. Kuba trading chart pattern urabona ko hano iri gukora icyo twita descending triangle. Urabona ko mu by'ukuri Bitcoin yacu irimo irakora descending triangle. Descending triangle rero kubamenyera chart pattern, iyi ni continuation pattern. Niba isoko ryacu riri muri downtrend, ni ikimenyetso cy'uko aba Bitcoin abashaka kuyigurisha bakomeza kujya kuyigurisha. No kuvuga rero byo kwitradinga neza no kuzategereza yamena iyi support yacu dufite irimo gukoramo hano. Imaze kuyimena, uburyo bwiza no gutegereza yayimena, ugakora breakout cyangwa tukaba twakora break and retest, tukaba twamanuka. Kuko Bitcoin niramuka imennye hariya indi support dufite nta gitangaza kirimo. Ngira ngo abo trading nabo nigeze mbibabwira mu minsi itambutse yuko Bitcoin ishobora kuzongera ikava ku bihumbi 60 yaririho ikagaruka kuri iki giciro cy'ibihumbi 3649. Ngendemya Bitcoin mu 2019 Bitcoin yaguraga nayimenye iri kugura hafi mu bihumbi 4, yari iri muri iyi zone izamuka igira ngo rose ko ntabwo trading crypto. Nuko nzi ko mu badukurikira rimwe na trading crypto kugira ngo dufashe nabo babashe kureba uburyo bashaka gukoresha technical analysis byo bayikora. Ariko mu by'ukuri ikintu kigaragara, Bitcoin iracyari bearish, ndetse ukurikije ni consolidation irimo gukora hano kuri iyi support. Nta cyizere gihari cyuko Bitcoin iraza kuzamuka vuba kugira ngo tuzabashe kubona ko wenda Bitcoin ishaka kufitira kujya kugarura imbaraga zo kuba yazamuka. Ni mu gihe yazaza wenda ikaba yarangiza iyi consolidation ikamena iyi high ikaza igakora wenda high na high low, yaba ari ikimenyetso kizakurikiza. Ariko mu by'ukuri kugeza kuri uyu munota Bitcoin iracyafite ibintu byinshi bigaragara yuko izamanuka cyane igasubiramo hano hasi. So I hope you see how our technical analysis works and what happened later. And now let's see what the market is doing and what we could expect from Bitcoin. What we have seen, Bitcoin, it is downtrend now. It is downtrend. Therefore, we need to look for a support where Bitcoin could find a support for the investors, and that is where the investors could look for buying, start to invest in Bitcoin. So that is the first things we need to know as trader or investors, and that is the biggest mistake novice investors make of investing in something they do not know. We do not invest in a bearish market unless you know very well what you are doing. So Bitcoin, it is downtrend. Since it is trending below this 100 moving average, on the daily time frame you can see easily that now this 100 moving average, it is acting somehow like a resistance. And to see what Bitcoin could be doing in the near future, so let's go to the history of Bitcoin and let's use higher time frame weekly in order to see what could be done. Let's go back to 2017. At 2017, Bitcoin was trading at this price, was trading around 1,000. Let's make it 1,000 to make our life easy. Let's make it 1,000. And then suddenly, Bitcoin, boom, pushed up to 19,000 in just from April 2017 to December 2017. In only 8 months, around the 8 months, the price has pushed up from 1,000 to 20,000, around 20,000. Wow, this is very, very volatile market, and that is why most novice traders and investors like cryptocurrency, unfortunately, they invest in a thing which they do not understand very well. There is one lesson I learned from one great investor I know who is still living, Adam Ko from Singapore. He said, be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. What does it mean? Once Bitcoin hit this price of 15,000, 70,000, many people was greedy, was buying Bitcoins too much because they wanted to make a lot of money. For an intelligent and smart investors who know about investing, this is the time to stay away the Bitcoin. Why? Because of the people, smart people who bought Bitcoin from this low here, from 1,000 to 3,000, they are taking the profit because they made a huge profit. That is one of the reasons which could cause the market to crash easily. And you see what's happened. Bitcoin has also dropped like a stone from 20,000 back to 3,000. Now, this is when there is fear in the market. So all the novice investors are selling the Bitcoins, they are crying and they are panicking all over. So they are selling all the Bitcoins. So for smart people, that is the good time to buy Bitcoin. And if you see well, was our support, because let's try to take the trend to show you what we can do. You see that Bitcoin has bounced from 1,000, then went to 3,000, back to 1,500, then broke this resistance and made a new high of around 5,000. Then it comes back to retest this broken resistance. That is where it made a very, very huge rally like this one. Then it pulls back to this broken resistance, to this support, and that is where it found the support, and it started to continue up there. Then it bounced lower here, and that is where it found this great move. If you remember well from my history, this is when I was investing in my scam supermarketings. It was here. That is when I knew Bitcoin. Unfortunately, I was new to the financial market. If I was intelligent, this was a great time to buy Bitcoin, because there was too much fear, too much panic into the market. So this was a good time to invest in Bitcoin, to buy Bitcoins. Unfortunately, I was new and I regret nothing. And you see from there, boom, that is where Bitcoin made this strong rally to 65,000, then pushed back and then up. For smart investors, this was the worst time ever to invest in Bitcoin, because everyone was greedy. Bitcoin was hitting around the world and they was buying Bitcoin. So remember this advice I read from Adam Ko. You can search for it, you will find it. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. So this was the worst time to buy Bitcoin, because the smart investors who bought Bitcoin from 8,000, they were taking their profit. So that is one of the causes which could have been caused this very big crash up to today. You see, now from only about 1 hour from November 2021 to November 2022, this 1 year only, Bitcoin has dropped from about 69,000 back to 16,000 Bitcoin. So now, can we expect now from Bitcoin? Is it good time to buy Bitcoin, or is it good time to invest in Bitcoin, or is it time to sit on our hands and wait? What can we do? Back to the history, you will see that this price of 19,000 was once the resistance of this market. And the market, after it reached it back in June this year, after it tested this broken resistance which could turn into support, Bitcoin tried to bounce up, but it failed after it reached this price of 25,000. It failed and it started the consolidation here. So this consolidation over this price around 19,000, it was the great reasons. It had two meanings. If you watch the technical analysis have been made on 17th of this of the last month. So these consolidations around the significant support which was a very, very significant support of Bitcoin in the history of Bitcoin, because this is the first high price Bitcoin has been hit after its creation, 19,000. So this was historical and psychological support. It had two meanings. One, either there were strong sellers who were willing to sell Bitcoin, who was willing to continue selling Bitcoins, or there were no strong buyers who were willing to buy Bitcoin. That is why our prediction was very simple. Our prediction was that Bitcoin could continue lower. The only way we could see Bitcoin coming back, it was to break above 25,000 and continue up. So this was not happened. Back to the weekly time frame, you see that the previous week we had a very sell-off of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin broke this support and crossed it to 16,000, around 15,500. And if you see, this coming week, this last week, Bitcoin was not managing to move, it was normally in indecision. What does this tell us? This tells us, from technical perspectives, it tells us that there are still sellers who are willing to sell Bitcoin. Therefore, if you are an investor, this is the worst time to invest in Bitcoin. So when could we start investing in Bitcoin? We need to wait and see, maybe if Bitcoin make a bullish candle in the upcoming weeks and close above this support again. So if Bitcoin closes above the 20,000 again, for those who are familiar with candlestick pattern, this is what is known as morning star. This could be a sign that buyers are starting to think about buying Bitcoin. But if we go to one daily time frame, you will see that we have a trend line here. So another good signal could be to see the market continuing to pushing up and breaking this trend line, but still it will not be a good indication that Bitcoin is going to be bullish again. The only way we could buy it is if Bitcoin breaks above 25,000 and make a retest in this zone between 16,000 and 25 and pulls back and break this resistance. This is the only way the investors could start investing in Bitcoin, because it will be a good sign that Bitcoin could continue rallying up. And this will be a very good indication, because from the perspective view, you see, after Bitcoin made this one, for those who are familiar with Bitcoin extension levels, you see Bitcoin found the resistance at nearly at 361% of Fibonacci extension levels. So once we get Bitcoin here, the bounce of Bitcoin at this level, it could be possible we could see Bitcoin rising again, at least, sorry, I use the long tool. We could see Bitcoin rising to this Fibonacci extension level, at least at $1,000. That is where we could expect Bitcoin once it finds support here. So what the investors has to do in these markets is to wait until Bitcoin shows the sign that it is going up. So after we get this signal, we could see Bitcoin continuing up like this. up to 2,000 to 100,000 for one single Bitcoin. Another scenario which could happen to Bitcoin, if Bitcoin fails to bounce back from this support, once we see a red candle, or once we see Bitcoin, that is the second scenario, once you see Bitcoin trading below 15,000, this will be a signal that Bitcoin could continue lower to $3,000 and to $100,000. So that is where we are going to look for buying signal like a never said and shoulder or double bottom. That is where Bitcoin will find the support, and that is where we could start investing in Bitcoin. So from this is from technical analysis, pure price action. And if you are a fan of indicators, let's approach our moving averages here and see how we can approach the market with using the technical indicators. So we have seen that the 100, the moving average is acting like a resistance. So the other way we could only think of about buying Bitcoin. Let's say if Bitcoin bounces back and found resistance or break of this 100 moving average, it could pull back to this support, and once it crosses above the 200 moving average, because you see this 200 moving average could continue lower, something like it can, let me take a black color, it could continue lower like this, and the 100 moving average will see it starting to drop like this. So only then this could be a signal that Bitcoin is willing to continue high. And if you see very clearly, this 200 moving average has a confirmation with 25,000 resistance. So what we could do here, it is to wait the market to pull back in this zone and it breaks above 25,000. That is when we could start buying, investing between Bitcoin. Otherwise, if Bitcoins, that is scenario number one, if Bitcoins pulls back to this 100 moving average or break below 15,000 minus support here, if it breaks below 15,000, this will be a signal that Bitcoin is still bearish. And the next support it could find, it is the support between 1,000 and 3,000. That is where we could start looking for reversal candlestick, reversal chart patterns, and that is only when we could look for investing in Bitcoin. And if we go to history, you see that these prices are the historical and significant prices, because it is where Bitcoin bounced back for the last time back into 2019. So I hope you learned something from this technical analysis. And if you learned something, or if you have a different opinion about the possible future movement of Bitcoin, please comment below to this video. And whenever we see something interesting for the funds of cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, USD, we'll make another video in order to share our thoughts about the Bitcoin. And remember, if you are new to our YouTube channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will not miss the next video about Bitcoin or other asset, especially Forex trading, we release regularly. May God be with you and trade safe.